last week on Race Sport Friday Prime Time, we saw plenty of close, high-speed action on the undulating track of the Road Atlanta. Tonight we're here in the Eifel Mountains around the fantastic Nürburgring Grand Prix track. Yaltayan broke the stranglehold of Martin van Loosenhoorn on Friday night, so can we have another race winner yet again this week? Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's the iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. It's Friday night prime time here on Race Sport TV and streaming live on iRacing Live. I'm Paul Smith. Joining me once again is Mr. Randy Chenoff, and alongside us today also is Mr. Scott Woodworth as well. And as always, we have Hugo Lewis on the cameras. Now, just before we get into this action, don't forget that tomorrow sees the start of a brand new championship as we have live coverage of the Blancpain GT World Championship Series here on Race Sport TV and iRacing Live, starting from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And well, Randy, I know you're looking forward to it. It's certainly going to be a good championship, and well, we don't know what's going to happen, so we'll have to tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, that's a huge championship I'm looking forward to. I'm sure anyone who knows my name knows that I'm kind of one of the endurance racing specialists on the service, but it's going to be great. Teams like Coanda, NX Racing going at it, kind of your usual big teams, as well as some teams we're not used to seeing really here on Raceball, except for in their usual broadcast, TTL, and so it's going to be a fantastic championship, I think, and Monza's going to be an interesting start to that.
Well, we'll concentrate on tonight, and we have the iRacing Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. We're just in qualifying at the moment. As I say, it's the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit this week, and it certainly is a good track. It's one that suits the single-seater cars that have the downforce there. Not too much downforce on these Formula Renaults, but enough to be able to get some good speed through these sweeping corners. And well, there's plenty of overtaking opportunities as well, Scott.
There are for some drivers, especially I think maybe in the sim racing side of things. I know that it's maybe a little bit more difficult if someone steps into one of these in real life. I know that the only real sort of proper passing spots I think are down in towards turn 1 into the hairpin, where we'll see a lot of action in the first couple of laps, particularly at the start when everyone's trying to file their way into that very, very tight hairpin. And also I think on the run up towards the chicane before the final corner, those are the two sort of prime passing spots, but you can make moves elsewhere. You can make them up towards the hairpin at the bottom of the circuit. You can also do it at the left hander after the Schumacher S. There's a couple of other spots where you can do that, but those are the key ones. And I think you said about the fast sort of sweeping corners, this is a circuit where it's very much, with these sort of Formula Renaults, speaking to somebody who's actually driven both one in real life and in the iRacing at the same time, or actually driven both. The tyres tend to go off. The difference in lap time between the beginning of the stint and the end of the stint in terms of how the tyres work is about a second and a half in terms of lap time difference. So particularly as this is not only a circuit where there's quite a few long sweeping corners, but they're at relatively high speeds as well. Going to be a lot of load on the tyres tonight, particularly with the high downforce. So we could be seeing some drivers, if they take liberties with that, suffer tyre problems towards the end of the race, and that could mean we could see possibly some surprise drivers either on the podium or at least in the top 5, or maybe even win the race.
Well, as I say, we're in qualifying at the moment. Govan Keeney is currently in provisional pole position with Martin van Loosenhoorn, Mr. Friday Night Prime Times. He's in second place. Justin Brunner in third for the time being. That's the top 3 in qualifying at the moment. We've just got a few drivers still to set a lap time, and they're not going to have much time left actually to set a lap time here. One of those guys is David Guimoni-Beau, coming round the final corner now. Across that wing line, will he set a lap time this time around? And the answer is no, he won't. So he's not going to set a lap time. Andrea Perez-Sola as well is going down to the hairpin, so I don't think they're going to make it to the end here. So we'll just wait for these last few seconds to tick down. But Randy, we've discussed sort of the passing opportunities you got, but also qualifying is crucial around here.
Yeah, qualifying is extraordinarily important. You want to get yourself out front in the Mercedes arena. Depending on what line you in, you're on, excuse me, for the start, it could be a huge benefit, or it could be a huge drawback to you. You could just get shuffled out to the outside and just get rammed straight down to get basically a freight train by as you get off the line. Or if you're in place, you can see yourself picking up several positions going through the Mercedes arena. But yeah, this is I think going to be one of the more important circuits for qualifying, considering we don't really have a super long straightaway here, just the back straight, and that's not as long as what we saw at Road Atlanta last week.
So, through the qualifying positions then, Govan Keeney in pole with Martin van Loosenord in second, Thomas Schmidt is in third place with Justin Brunner in fourth, David Williams fifth, Mark Usher in sixth place, Ricardo Castro Lido in seventh place with Pedro Moraes in eighth, Nicholas Johnston in 9th with Bruno De Carmo in 10th place, Jukka Savalainen in 11th with Jan Schwitter in 12th, Perez 13th with Javier Martinez in 14th, Angus Waddle in 15th with Massimo Botello in 16th, Aniti Levoska, I knew there was going to be one name, in 17th with Ollie Kawaka in 18th, Jürgen Frank 19th with Richard Keeley in 20th place, George Wiseman 21st, Scott McIntyre 22nd, 23rd, Andrea Perez Sola and David Guillermo Bo is at the back of the grid in 24th place. So 24 starters here today, and well, Randy, we're looking at this. We saw Govan give a good account of himself in one of the races recently. I think it was last week, actually. Good lap from him. So he has shown that he has got the pace to compete at the front.
Yeah, very good qualifying from Govan this week, and Martin van Loosenord again been one of the big winners, and again fails to get on pole.
And away we go for the start then of this race. It's 15 laps around here, and it's a good start from Govan. Away, covering the inside line already into turn one. This very tight right-hander, Martin van Loosenord, looking to the outside. And well, there's always a little bit of checking up here through that first corner, but everyone giving themselves and able to get through there. But Govan Keeney holding on to that lead for the start of this race through the Mercedes Arena section now, as we've got a spinner further back. That was one of the cars there. I don't know if you caught who that was, Randy, but there was certainly a spinner there through turn 3.
Yeah, I didn't actually catch who that was, but actually very good job by everyone to get around. There's actually been a very, very clean start of this race. That Mercedes arena can get narrow, and everyone did a good job, even with the spinner, to not make any contact.
Down into the hairpin there, down at the bottom of the hill. This is the bottom part, the most southerly part of the circuit now. They're going to go uphill towards the Schumacher S. There's Govan Keeney in the lead for the time being. Matt van Loosenord second, Thomas Schmidt in third. Justin Brunner is in he's in third place, sorry. He is ahead of Thomas Schmidt. So Brunner ahead of Schmidt there. David Williams is in fifth. And we've got all sorts of dramas going further back, but still everyone's keeping on track. I don't see anybody pulled over for the time being, so great start from everyone as we head down towards the chicane. Matt van Loosenord, he's looking to make the move to the inside, has a little look, decides against it because it is a tight chicane there, and if you get your line wrong, you could end up wiping out the car in front.
Yeah, certainly can, and I think Guinea did very well to defend that exit in the final at the chicane as they come onto the straight to end the first lap. Van Loosenord's in the tow that he needs, so he's going to sit there and try and watch and see what Govan does here as they end the first lap. Brunner's done a good job, he's up one spot from third place. A great start from Bruno De Carmo, who started 10th and is up to P6, and also Jukka Savalainen is up then from 11th place to 8th on the first lap as well. So not too bad stuff from them. The guy who's actually really dropped down quite a bit, it seems, from the start is Mark Usher. He's down to about sort of 8th or 9th place after starting 6th. But the real loser, it seems to be, it looks as though it's actually Pedro Moraes, down in sort of around, I think where is it at the moment? He's Pedro 17th and he qualified 8th. So some big shuffles there in the first couple of laps. But right now Govan Keeney's keeping Mr. Friday Night Primetime at by for the time being. But also you've got to watch behind them because of the likes of Justin Brunner, Thomas Schmidt and David Williams. They're keeping themselves in the vicinity. There's only 2.6 seconds separating the top 5.
It was Pedro Moraes who was the spinner on that first lap as we head down towards the hairpin once again. Govan Keeney holding on to that lead for the time being, but Martin van Loosnord's keeping in close company at the moment. Justin Brunner trying to hang on to the back of these two because they are trying to make a bit of a breakaway here at the front. They're about a second ahead. Martin van Loosnord, though, keeping himself in the mirrors of Govan Keeney at the front, trying to put him off, and there's a big mistake there from Govan. It's worked as that pressure, and Martin van Loosnord down the inside, thank you very much. He's going to take lead, and it'll be interesting to see now whether Govan can recover from that, Randy, and be able to keep with Martin and hopefully challenge for the lead again.
Yeah, it certainly is. We've seen Martin basically the entire championship thus far, not prone to making too many mistakes. We saw that one at Road Atlanta, but we also knew that he wasn't racing from home. He was racing in a different rig, and that certainly could have played part. Here he's sitting in the comfort of his own racing rig, his own chair. Now he's got himself a lead. If Govan can't keep up the pressure here, I see Martin just skipping away. Justin Brunner, though, has also kind of fell back, so it's basically just a two-car breakaway here for the lead as they're going to swerve right, and then Govan's going to look on the outside going through the hairpin. I think he's going to try to pull off an undercut here, but he's not going to cut it tight enough, not going to be able to do it.
No, absolutely not. So Govan Keeney having to hang back for the time being through this arena section. There's not really too many overtaking spots here through. Well, he's having a look down the inside there of the left-hander. They get very close indeed, but for the time being, Matt van Loosnord holds on to that position, holds on to that lead, but you don't want to be running too wide on the exit there because it can compromise your speed down here into this left-hander at turn 6, and well, you've got to get your line right, keep it over to the left there to be able to get the optimal line through this right-hander as you head down towards the hairpin again. You've got close action here, but you've also got quite a close action further back. Marc Perez has got a queue of cars behind him. You've got Jan Schwitter, you've got Javier Martinez, and also Solar and Waddle and Quokka as well, so we're all close battling further back as well. And well, Martin van Loosnord just trying to pull away, but that draft looking as well. It's further back. Thomas Schmidt is looking to the inside. Justin Brunner for the time being, but slots in behind once again, Scott.
Yeah, and also looking at the battle for 5th position, David Williams defending from Nicholas Johnston in P5 and 6. A good battle here. So these guys starting to pair off in sort of tandems here as they head towards the front. Could be a move on here for 3rd position. Brunner's trying to get himself around the outside. He'll move himself now to the outside now with Schmidt looking to try and make a pass up towards the Motorrad chicane. Gets his nose in front, and that's the move done. Almost gets a little bit out of shape on the exit, but gets the job done. But now we're going to watch in front, and it seems that Van Loosnord has got the advantage he needs. He's managed to gap himself just that little bit to get Govan Keeney just about out of his slipstream, because that's the key point. If you can gap yourself enough, just to the point where the slipstream starts to lose its effect, that's when you can start to break away. Keeney had that the last time around they came down to the hairpin, and he was able to try and attack. This time he's getting closer under braking, but seems as though that Mr. Friday Night Primetime living up to his illustrious title, and certainly keeping Keeney at bay. So Keeney's ruining that mistake he made on the second lap, because it's really putting pace in trying to close in.
We've had side by side all the way down the pit straight with Jan Schwitter and also Javier Martinez. They were going side by side down into turn 1 all the way down there, and look at the queue of traffic behind them. They've got 3 cars there immediately behind, but we've also got cars tagging onto the back of this queue. Massimo Botello and Ole Quokka as well at the back of that group, but yeah, Marc Perez is making a little bit of a breakaway there from Javier Martinez, and Jan Schwitter just slowly just backing out, going off the back of him, and coming under intense pressure from Andrea Sola.
Yeah, some good pressure there in the middle of this grid. It's interesting to see that we're getting pairings through the first top 6, really, although they've kind of broken themselves up. And actually, Thomas Schmidt went a little wide.
Oh, the got fight for the lead.
And sorry, Thomas Schmidt also got himself a black flag, but look in the front. Martin Van Loosnord, he's going to have the right here for this kink, but he was off the track there, and he's going to have the inside run, but he's going to be on the outside for the chicane if Govan's able to keep it there.
Yeah, absolutely. Side by side all the way down here through this right-hand kink. And contact! No! Massive contact! Van Loosnord's into the barrier. What's happened to Keeney? Well, Keeney's carried on. And that is a huge incident. It'll be interesting to see if Keeney's got any damage to his car. But Thomas Schmidt now and Justin Brunner can sense the opportunity here. Martin Van Loosnord, though, he is out of the race. He's in the pits. No more for him. 2 weeks on a row. There's a big incident there, Scott.
And I have to say, I'm sorry to say it, but looking at the replay, it looked as though actually Keeney held his line, and Van Loosenor just seemed to move into it. They seemed to sort of move in towards each other, coming off on the run towards the Motorrad chicane. There was just, I don't know, they seemed to just come both towards a point, but the end result is that Van Loosenor's in the barriers. Keeney was very, very lucky, only to take a trip across the grass and just about keep control. But he has kept the lead, and I'm sure the drivers have differing opinions. Keeney will say he held his line. Van Loosenor might argue that potentially there would have been some contact. They both need to look at the replay, but as far as I could see, Van Loosenor, he did move just a little bit towards the inside to cross towards Keeney. I don't know if Keeney was doing the same to try and defend his position, but the end result is the fact that remains that Van Loosenor, Mr. Friday Night Primetime, once again in the barrage for the second week in a row. Keeney leads this race by almost a second.
Absolutely, Keeney, yeah, out the front for the time being. Don't forget, you've got live timing, racebot.tv/timing, or all your timing needs for this race. But in third place, the battle between Thomas Schmidt and Nicholas Johnston now. They would have been fighting over fourth, but now because of that incident, it's third place. It's the last spot on the podium, and they're going side by side into this left-hander. And, well, able to hold on to the place for the time being is Schmidt, but Johnston all over the back of that Formula Renault, all over the gearbox, over the curb there on the exit. But look at that run that he's got as Johnston through this right-hander here, and maybe Schmidt giving a little bit more space that time, and Johnston just cuts across the front there. Very aggressive driving, but gets the job done up into third place, Randy.
Yeah, that was very, very good. Thomas Schmidt, I think, knew he didn't get the run he needed, and knew that Nick Johnston was going to be able to make that pass even if he tried to fight him hard, and he just kind of just backed out of it and got in line. Nick Johnston obviously wanted to defend that inside, swung across the noses of Thomas Schmidt there, and managed to hold on to that spot. David Williams stalking them from behind. He's about a second and a half or so back. Obviously, we saw that incident for the lead between guys racing hard. I think the way this track goes, I think if you're a guy who's just a second and a half away from a pair that is really fighting hard, I think you really might see yourself gain those positions just with the way this track can be raced.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott McIntyre is going side by side down into turn one, and that's with, I believe, Richard Keeley. Keeley runs wide, and McIntyre takes the place, and so too does George Wiseman, who's going to take that wide line through turn two. So George Wiseman up to 20th place, but at the front now, Govan Keeney obviously doesn't seem to have too many ill effects from that contact. He's now 1.2 seconds ahead of Justin Brunner. Nicholas Johnson, as we say, up into that third place with Thomas Schmidt in fourth. Well, the closest back at the moment is Mark Usher. Fantastic work to recover, as he has done so far. He fell down to ninth at the end of the first lap, is now back up to his starting position of sixth place. Usher, Bruno De Carmo and Jukka Savalainen, and well, Savalainen doing a good job up to 8th place from 11th on the grid, and Mark Perez behind in 9th, starting 13th, and Javier Martinez rounding out that top 10 for the time being. Also Johnston, fantastic work from him, started 9th on the grid, up to 3rd so far, Scott.
Yeah, some good moves and shakers in the field. It seems though that this circuit is claiming some big scouts, but these guys have been able to make some great starts and maybe displacing them with theory that there's not that many overtaking spots on this circuit, or the guys that are coming up to the overtaking spots are using them to full effect. But just watching this battle, it still continues, that closest battle that's going over 6th position, Mark Usher, Bruno De Carmo and Jukka Savalainen. Usually Bruno De Carmo, he seems to be one of these drivers that he's always up and around the top 10 or just trying to break into the top 5. It's almost like we're almost slightly expecting him to kind of push himself towards the front. He's one of those names that we probably expect to be up there regularly battling in the top 5s. He's had a bit of bad luck in the last couple of weeks in terms of results and getting himself involved in one or two things that may not have been entirely his fault, but I think that Bruno certainly is someone who, given a few more races, probably could be up there challenging for podiums if he gets a chance. He's giving Mark Usher a lot of lot to think about as they head through the complex, and Jukka Savalainen also keeping on his tail as well. But we've now completed. Oh, is that somebody going very wide in the background? Possibly, I think going straight off at the middle of the Mercedes arena. Either that, or that's just a technical glitch on my screen, possibly. But even so, leader Govan Keeney with a 1.5 second advantage over Justin Brunner, and he has just about likewise over Nicholas Johnson, who himself now is coming under pressure from 4th place Thomas Schmidt. But actually, I think there's been a position change. It's Johnson now ahead of Schmidt.
Well, yeah, we saw the pass from Johnson, that very aggressive move that he made down towards the chicane. But yeah, Schmidt, he's not giving up on that third place. He wants a podium place, and he's going to push all the way as Thomas into that left-hander again at turn 11, now into turn 12, Warsteiner curve, and down through there, down this long back section. It's a straight with a kink, and then a bit of a straight. It's the fastest point of the track. Well, one of the fastest points of the track, along with the pitch straight, but down into the chicane. For the time being, Schmidt just falling back a little bit. A bit of a dodgy entry into that chicane, so losing about 3 or 4 tenths there from the back there. But looking further back, Bruno De Carmo still putting pressure on Mark Usher, as we've also got Antti Lavoska is battling away with Olli Kuokka. And behind him also is Ricardo Ledo. So that is a battle for 15th, 16th and 17th place as they're coming across the start and finish line now. And well, this is going to be a chance now for Lavoska to make that move. He's going to go down the outside, and Kuokka holding that inside line, trying to get light on the brakes as they dare if possible. Maybe snatch a brake as well. No, they keep it clean, and well, that's that. But we've also had contact as well. Randy.
Yeah, John Twitter, and I'm not sure who he got in contact with, but going down into turn 1, who was that? It was Angus Waddle. Angus just looked up the inside, going down into the hairpin, didn't quite get the car turned in as tightly as he needed to, whereas John Twitter actually, he basically tried to run a line almost as if Angus wasn't even there, so that's going to be some interesting opinions there, but some pretty hard contact. It kicked Jan up onto 2 wheels. It'll be interesting to see if there's any damage after that.
Yeah, it certainly was a big impact, was that, as you say, going into that turn 1 and up onto 2 wheels. It won't help the car steering or suspension, but anyway, that's what happens between those two. But still, we have this battle for 6th place, although we've also got this battle for 16th place as well, because Lavoska has lost a position there to Ledo. So well, that's Ricardo moving up a place there. Scott.
Yeah, this is Lavoska's just trying to get himself up there. This has been a good sort of note into our battle we've got now. Patello and Kuokka did as much as they can at this point in time. We've got Kuokka, Ledo and Lavoska all together. This is over at the moment, 15th position. We're also seeing Patello's actually going to try and close in on his battle we've got. I think his Waddle's also having to try and defend also Schwitter. Schwitter well to actually recover after that contact. He did get thrown pretty high into the air as we saw on the replay, but looks as though that Patello wants to get himself into the mix with this battle as we head forwards. And Johnston also watching in terms of lap time. We think that Johnston is actually going to get himself pretty close to 2nd place as we look towards the front. Keeney's away by about 2.6 seconds up the road, about 7 tenths of a second back. We've still got this battle going on between Johnston and Schmidt. These two have been battling technically all race long, and they've got a nice sort of gap, about 2 seconds over Williams, who himself has gapped himself by about almost 2 seconds on Ashes. So apart from the battle for 3rd, the front sort of 4 or 5, 6 cars just gapping themselves a little bit, getting to a comfortable sort of distance between each other. It seems to be that Usher, Carmo and Savalainen is the closest battle towards the front anyway, with De Carmo keeping Usher honest as they head now currently through the Ford curve, and they'll start to chase downhill towards the Dunlop hairpin.
Yeah, so we have 7 laps remaining. It is a 15-lap race, so it's Govan Keeney 2.8 seconds in the lead, with Justin Brunner 2nd, Nicholas Johnston 3rd, Thomas Schmidt 4th, and Williams 5th, Mark Usher 6th, Bruno De Carmo in 7th, Jukka Savalainen in 8th, with Mark Perez 9th, and Javier Martinez rounding out the top 10 there. And really, it's Bruno De Carmo is on the back here of Mark Usher as they head into turn 11, this left-hander, and you want to again try and get over to the left-hand side as quickly as possible so that you can get the best line through the right-hander at turn 12 to get the best run down the straight, as well Bruno De Carmo will be looking to overtake, but at the time being, at the moment, not able to get close enough there, Randy.
Yeah, he didn't quite get the run he needed there coming out of turn 12 onto this back straightaway as they break now for the chicane, and they just stay single file because he's just not close enough. Looking down the order, the fight between Olli Kuokka and Ricardo Castrolado is close as well, but again, Ricardo didn't quite get the run he needed, although he does have a bit of momentum, might try to make a move, and actually no, they just stick single file as well. Right now everything is it's seeming to be calming before the storm here towards the end of this race here, Paul. We've seen most of these races, they really climax in the middle and then spread out towards the end in recent weeks. This one, I think we're going to get some good scraps towards the end with the way Johnston's chasing down Brunner and the way the rest of these fights are panning out as well.
Well, we saw last week definitely that the battle it started getting a bit heated towards the end as we've got a move here. Massimo Botello into turn 1 down the inside there of Jan Schwitter, and well, not able to make that move stick for the time being, but he went through there, not able to hold on to that position for the time being. But certainly plenty of action is going on as they're still battling away between each other. And well, looking here, Castro's also had a move there as well. He's got ahead of Cuoca for position, so that's up to that 15th place now for Lido.
We've been looking at the sector times on the live timing, racebot.tv/live timing. What intrigues me looking at the last sort of laps is that Keeney seems to be the best man through sector 3 than anyone else. So I have a feeling potentially that his car is set up a little bit more for better straight line speed, because if you look at the 2 sectors he does in sectors 1 and 2, he's not the fastest through there, because people like Justin Brunner, Thomas Schmidt are faster through that second sector and also through the first sector than him by just about. I think he's got a car that's set up better for the slipstream and also for straight line speed. That's the reason why he's able to pull away to a gap of about 3 seconds. He's making the most of these high speed sections here at the Nürburgring and doing a fantastic job at that rate as well. But this battle going off in 3rd place is still raging on between Johnston and Schmidt, 2 of them getting very much nose to tail as they head through the final corner, as they head up towards the pit straight. And I wonder now, is this going to be a chance for Thomas Schmidt to get the run he needs down the pit straight as they come down on the run? This is for 2nd place, sorry, not for the lead. So Johnston's pulled away from Schmidt. He's going to try and sweep outside when you get the cut back towards the hairpin towards Yokohama, last of the late breakers. And that's Johnston going straight round the outside. He doesn't need the cut back, although he went a little too deep on the inside, but he's going to put himself right alongside Justin Brunner if he can make it stick. The pair of them go side by side again. Brunner's almost been run out wide as they head down towards the second part of the Mercedes arena. One mistake and you can put yourself offline and really have a problem, and they're still side by side. Johnston can't make the move stick. Brunner gets back in front. Brunner says, nice try, Nicholas, but you'll have to try harder than that to relinquish this position this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fantastic work from both Johnson and Brunner. Johnson looking to the inside there around turn 7. He's going to have the run down the inside now towards the hairpin. It is an overtaking opportunity down into this right-hander. We've got 5 laps remaining of this race, and Johnston up into 2nd place as he's going to keep it on the inside. Brunner giving the space there, and Johnston just cutting in front there. Brunner has got the better exit there through that hairpin, now through the Schumacher S. And well, these cars very, very close. You can see how close they are together. Less than a tenth between them as they head into the left-hander at 11. As we say, get the next corner right. Oh, Johnson over the curbs, losing traction a little bit there on the exit, over the curbs again, but you're able to run that one. And now down this back straight section, and it just looks like Johnson has got the legs over Brunner as they head down to the chicane, Randy.
Yeah, they certainly do. This back straightaway has been proven hard in terms of the slipstream. It's just not quite long enough to really get a run if you can't get a good run out of turn 12. So really, being able to make passes depends more on that, I think, than slipstream alone. As Thomas Schmidt has reeled them in a little bit with the way they were fighting. They spent about half that lap side by side. However, now that they're a back single file and line astern, they'll likely just keep spreading the gap on Thomas Schmidt again.
We've also had a spin for Massimo Botello at turn 11, who was trying to go down the inside of Jan Schwitter, but lost control of the car, went onto the grass, didn't hit anything, so was able to carry on there. But yeah, this battle for 2nd place still raging on. We've also got a battle here for 13th down into turn 1, and well, through the inside there goes Ricardo Castro Lido for that position, so he's up to 13th now. We've also got Usher and DeCarmo. They're close. In fact, they've changed position. DeCarmo has got past Mark Usher now, up into 6th place. So good work from him as well. And well, it's all just starting to get a bit exciting, Randy. Once again, we saw how these battle packs last week sort of panned out and then came back together again, and it's happening again.
Yeah, it certainly is, and with the draft of Atlanta, we kind of expected that last week, and what really helped was we saw a couple cars get some bit of damage. But yeah, Justin Brunner he's lost the rear end of Nicholas Johnson here over this lap. Now that Johnson's able to get by, he's really going to need to push here to be able to get back to that gearbox, be able to make that draft work down that long back straightaway. He gets a decent exit. Actually, no, he doesn't. He's going to get himself on the dirt, able to hold on to it though. But yeah, he just needs to push hard and try to reel in Johnston.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brunner maybe just feeling the pressure there. He is in third place. He's got a podium position. Oh, over the curb there at the chicane. Loses control. That's going to give Thomas Schmidt the opportunity to get onto that podium position. I maybe gave him the curse of the commentator, but Schmidt around the outside of this final corner, turn 16, and down the pit straight they go. They're going side by side down the pit straight. And Justin Brunner, well, we saw him have the mistake there. And down into turn 1, Schmidt is just slightly ahead, but under the braking now. Brunner later on the brakes there, holding an inside line. Schmidt trying to get the cut back there, but it's so difficult around this arena section. We've seen how drivers can go side by side, and Brunner was one of those drivers a couple of laps ago. We've got 3 laps left of this race to go. Vankini 5.9 seconds ahead of Nicholas Johnston in the lead, but this battle for third place, you've got David Williams catching up to the back of these two as well, because these two are battling away, it's slowing each other down. And Thomas Schmidt, well, he's putting all the pressure on, but he's wanting to get a move on because he can see David Williams catching up to him, Scott.
Yeah, this is a fascinating battle that's happening here. You also got to watch out because Bruno De Carmo just started to gap Mark Usher a little bit as they come towards it. So if these three are not careful, we're going to have a 4-way scrap for what is going to turn out to be third place, as Schmidt has got a great exit out of the hairpin up towards the Schumacher S. They're going to be nose to tail. David Williams in a prime seat to watch on as they head up through the uphill high speed left-right sweep and up towards the left hand. Up towards it looks as though that Schmidt's got a small look up the inside towards the left-hander. And they'll come towards the back end of this section through the Ad Van Bogen. They'll come in a moment's time, but this is a prime position. The run downhill here is going to be all crucial here for, looks to be Justin Brunner at this point in time. They head now through the right-hander at Ad Van Bogen, and the braking zone here towards the Motorrad chicane is going to possibly see him move as they come down towards it. He does look, puts himself into the mirrors of Justin Brunner as they head into the left-hand, right-hand. And also David Williams is closed under braking as well. That's for 5th position. We're going to move into now, I think this is the penultimate lap of the race, and this is going to be all crucial, as I think that's Schmidt getting a little bit over the curve slightly through the exit of the chicane towards the final corner. You can see already Brunner knows that Schmidt's going to get straight into his toe, as does David Williams. This could be a very fascinating battle with 2 laps to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming into the closing stages of this race, and as you alluded to earlier, tyres could play an issue in this, but for the time being, Brunner staying ahead of Thomas Schmidt, with David Williams just hanging around at the back of this battle. But Bruno De Carmo is closing up slowly to the back of Williams. In fact, he was last lap he was about 5/10 faster was Bruno De Carmo than David Williams. So maybe get with him towards the towards the end of this race, but it'll be very difficult for him to do that. But as I say, at the front, Vankini now 6 seconds ahead, and well, certainly very exciting racing going on. We've had a switch of positions as well. George Wiseman and Richard Keeley, they have switched positions. That's 19th for Richard Keeley, 20th for George Wiseman. So that was a change of position, but this battle for second place is for third place, sorry, is still raging on. Thomas Schmidt trying to get all over the back, and he does seem to be quicker through that first half of the lap. He's able to close up to the back of Justin Brunner, but then it's the second half of the lap where Thomas Schmidt just seems to lose out a little bit of time, Randy.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he's in the slipstream now. He might make a move here. This is about as close as he's been yet. He gets a little bit on the grass, and he looks inside. He's going to have to brake very, very late, and if he doesn't attempt the move, and they're going to make contact. That's a spin. We need to watch for the cars behind, because they've been battling tightly as well. And these guys are going to lose 3, 4, 5 positions here after that incident.
Oh, that's a huge incident there for them. We'll look at that again, I'm sure, because it was Thomas Schmidt who made the move down the inside. He was been as late as he dared, got very late on the brakes, but locked up the brakes, and that cost both him and Justin Brunner some positions. So it's Bruno De Carmo who's made it up into third place now. He's got Mark Usher behind. Justin Brunner is now in 5th place, with Jukka Savalainen in 6th, although he's battling away with Matt Perez. Matt Perez making it through there for the race there, up into 6th place for him. David Williams now down in 9th place for 8th place for him, sorry, for David Williams. But yeah, some big moments there. We've also lost Ricardo Lido as well. He is dropping down the order, so I think we've lost him from this race. well, but certainly they're battling all the way through, and we saw it last week how the battling got intense towards the end, and it's happening again. This battle for 6th place, Matt Perez, Jukka Savalainen and David Williams is hanging on to the back of them for the time being. And well, it was a big incident. Thomas Schmidt is in 10th place. He's got a little bit of damage to his rear wing as well, but well, Govan Keeney, he's on his own at the moment. He's through turn 12, he's going down the back section. He has got a 12.5 second lead. This is fantastic. Mikkels Johnson in 2nd place, but Bruno Carmo in 3rd place. This is a great drive from him. Mark Usher behind him in 4th, but Justin Brunner close by. But Jukka Savalainen, he is the closest one behind for the time being, right up the rear wing of Mark Perez, as Govan Keeney is going to come around the final corner, and he's going to take the win there for him today. Another good win for him, as down the inside, Jukka Savalainen on contact between him and Perez, and that's going to allow David Williams to come on the inside 3 wide into the final corner. Can they all get through? Yes, they will. David Williams going to take advantage of this, trying to get the good drive out of there. Across the line they'll go. Who will it be? Who will get that position? We'll have to wait and see for the timing screen to change, and it's David Williams who ends up in 7th place, so gaining 2 positions there in the end of that lap. Fantastic work from him. We've also had side-by-side action there as well across the line, and well, George Wiseman's still battling away as well. No, he isn't. It's Richard Keeler. Oh, my timing screen's going all haywire here. But what we can tell you for sure is Govan Keeney has won this race by 13. That's right, 13 seconds. It was a bit of a controversial one, though. We saw that contact with him and Martin van Leusnord, but he's the one who wins that one at the end there. Mikkels Johnson finishing in 2nd place, and finish up your podium. Bruno De Carmo, great work. Johnson and Bruno De Carmo, 9th and 10th they started respectively, and they finished 2nd and 3rd, so good work from them. As we're going to see a replay of that end battle for that 7th place. Williams, Matt Perez and Jukka Savalainen as well. That was fantastic work from them guys. But yeah, 4th place, Mark Usher, with Justin Brunner in 15th place. 50, oh, good grief. 4th place for Usher, 5th place for Brunner, 6th place for Jukka Savalainen, so able to just get it across the line there ahead of David Williams. Is about let's have a look at that, 7/700ths of a second, sorry, between Jukka Savalainen and David Williams. Matt Perez in 8th, with Javier Martinez in 9th place. Thomas Schmidt finishing in 10th place in the end there, with Andrea Perez Sola in 11th, Angus Waddle in 12th, Jan Schwitter in 13th place, with Antti Levoska in 14th, Oli Quokka 15th, Jürgen Frank in 16th, Massimo Botello had a little bit of a spin earlier on, he finishes in 17th place, Richard Keeley in 18th place, with George Wiseman 19th, and David Gimeno Bu in 20th place, Scott McIntyre 21st, with Pedro Moraes the last of the runners on the race, and then Ricardo Lido, we saw him battling through, but unfortunately not able to finish the race, and as I say, the last man on the standings there, Martin van Leusnord. We saw that incident, it was a big moment, cost him a potential victory, but Govan Keeney is the one who comes out with that. And Scott, that was your first Friday night primetime. What did you think of that showcase finish?
I think I want to come back for some more now, because that wasn't too bad. That was pretty good. That was very Spa-esque. Maybe not as dramatic at Spa, but it was a brilliant race with all these guys. Great to see these cars up close and personal. And what was interesting is that once Keeney got himself a clear gap, that clear air, he took full advantage of it. And we know these cars are strong in the draft. We know they're strong when you get a slipstream. Keeney was able to break that, and he pulled away at a canter. I think the fact that he had his car set up for a bit more slippery through the air, in terms of he had a lower downforce setup by the looks of things, helped him out no end. Nicholas Johnston, great drive for him. I think possibly driver of the race, one of them actually has to go to Mark Usher. Started P6, was in the middle. I was looking at his practice time for a second. P6, but for him as well. Yuka Savalainen started P11. Great job to finish in 6th position. Mark Perez finished 8th after finishing 13th. Andres Perez Sola finished 11th after starting 23rd. Great drive from him. But in some ways, it's crazy that I did almost sort of half call it. We said that Bruno de Carmo was one of those drivers where, given the right chance and circumstances, he'd get himself a podium. And what happens in this race? The battle for second and third, it gets together, and who comes through in third place? Bruno de Carmo. So brilliant drive for him to get himself a podium. Brilliant racing for the Formula Renaults, and I have to say, yeah, give me some more of that, please, because that was pretty fantastic.
And well, next week, Randy, we head on to the Grand Prix circuit at Donington. It's a circuit that you need to get sort of get a good flow around there, but it's easy to end up with little penalties as well.
Yeah, it really is. Donington is one of the rougher tracks, or excuse me, one of the tougher tracks on the schedule for this season, and it's going to be another one we're going to see probably not a whole lot of draft. There's not really too many long straightaways. Really, you just have that front straight and that kind of decently linked back straightaway where you head down into the chicane. It's definitely we're going to see probably a lot more high downforce setups, and we're probably going to see a lot of people trying to make a bonsai styled dive bomb passes. So it should be exciting for us in the commentary booth.
Well, that was week 6 of Friday Night Primetime on Racesport TV and iRacing Live. Thanks to Anwan Designs for all their graphics, and also Istvan Below for his cameras once again. And well, congratulations to Govan Keeney on that win, that dominant win in the end there. And remember, tomorrow you can see the start of the brand new championship as we have live coverage of the Blancpain GT World Championship Series here on Racesport TV and iRacing Live from 1 PM GMT. You make sure you don't miss that because it's going to be fantastic. So from myself, Paul Smith, from Scott Woodwis, from Randy Chenoff, and also Hugo Lewis, it's a good night from the Nürburgring and from everyone here at Racesport TV and iRacing Live. Goodbye.
Thinking I was like